COVID-19, Australia on fire, Trump's acquittal, the death of Kobe Bryant, canceled Olympics, Biden is America's only hope, George Floyd. Day by day, our waking nightmares continue to manifest into newer, more unbelievable happenings. And it's only July. We're only half done. And it's also been the absolute best start to a year of pop music since I started listening to pop music in mid-2013. No, that isn't hyperbole. If there's anything I've gotten used to from following pop music, it's that the beginning of the year is somewhere from ignorably bad to a nightmare. But for once, it's great. Actually to the point where I haven't needed to resort to a non-radio option out of self-preservation. The good is wonderful, and the bad is still mildly entertaining. Usually for something interesting. 2020 gets a big so far thumbs up from me. No, just the music, damn it. Heck, I've just personally had a better year. The pandemic amped my work up, so I've been plenty busy. Life almost felt no different for a gaming Midwest loser like myself, and nothing has beat pop music being this good. How good? I present the top 10 best and worst songs of 2020 so far. Fine, the good comes later. But first... worst! You know what we keep sweeping under the rug? Camilla has never been good. End of 2016, she jumped ship from Fifth Harmony, the very group she herself brought so much ire. From there, she would suck before and after her group's popularity. No, she's not Selena Gomez bad, but she never did anything to prove that leaving Fifth Harmony was a good idea. Even this, the draw is pretty much not Camilla. It's the production and Grandpa. She's always been a low-ceiling, accidentally famous person somehow staying afloat on the success of a group. My Oh My seems to be made to spite that fact. Good start. The song is just a stubborn flounderfest. Competently produced, but led very poorly. If I cared, I would try to fill in the holes and pinpoint her intricate inadequacies. Instead, the problem really is just this. That's a great Marge Simpson, Camilla, or that sound I always used to make at bad jokes in high school. So we have a suboptimal song performed by somebody who inherited fame that's named after the absolute worst thing about the song. A song that has been given the unofficial name Havana 2. Not a flattering title. Ooh my. Hell, I'd probably be angrier if it wasn't for DaBaby.
I don't be kissing on this shorty, she don't be kissing on me.
Not a fan. Probably will never be a fan, but there's this weird grounding and normalcy to his presence. And if it gives us less Camilla, I'll take it. Unearned Ego. Sucks. Almost as badly as... Actually, I'm gonna call an audible here. Let's make this the unofficial number 11. I'm sorry, Selena, but let's fight the real enemy. Amanbek Zikhanov thought he was a real clever girl when he took some random trap song and made it his own, thus forcing himself and Guyanese-American artist Saint Jin into the limelight, giving himself a Russian record deal and Jin another person he can ignore on social media. Yeah, Jin didn't commission it. The guy just kind of did it. And it all makes sense when you listen to the original. This fucking sucks. That some amateur hack would take a song so good and just ruin it. Yeah, I actually think this is great. That is a tractor beam of emotion he's throwing there, and a creepy atmosphere. Why couldn't this have been popular in 2016? Would have sure helped the year that needed it. But in 2020, some random asshole stole it, put a shitty beat and filter around it, and stripped it of everything that made it even a little good. Reminds me a bit of Sieve, actually, how they took the best part of an emotionally collapsing poser and went except they didn't pitch him up so high you couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. Hope you flop and lose your record deal, dude. You suck. No, you should write about something else, you creatively bankrupt fool. It's too soon. Fine, it's shitty what G-Eazy did, but you give him all the power if you continue to wallow in it more than 2 years later. Hell, maybe if this was the first time she talked about it, great, screw him. But now you just look like you're a sadistic psycho who can't let it go. I believe in you, Alicia. Don't make me regret owning this vinyl more than I already do.
Fall for me.
Can we try and get through Juice WRLD's posthumous hits first before we try and let some shitty, pathetic imitator try to take his spot? You know my opinion of Jared, but what I haven't said is I respected what he brought to the table. I may not have liked his lyrics, but the guy did his best to make you feel what he was feeling. He was trying. Trevor Daniel is not.
My last made me feel like I would never try again.
That is an absolute bottom 5 cliche to me. The last bitch I dated made me want to quit all women forever, but then you came along. Oh, shut up. No, you didn't, you shallow little twerp. Not unless she literally castrated you. Maybe she stole your brain, too. That or you let your dick make all the decisions. If you're not put off by how empty and unoriginal the song is, then maybe he'll scare you away with his rush job on the musical parts.
When I saw you, I felt something I never felt.
That's not a melody, that's some bored dude screwing around with a keyboard.
Before you, baby, I was numb, trying to paint by pouring up.
Send him back. He's not ready to be famous. Number 6. So this next entry I wrote for the non-hits video, and then it ended up becoming a hit. So I already wrote an entire list entry for it. So, let's just not let it go to waste. Everybody loves a good comeback. Down on their luck, former powerhouse finds the perfect song to get the masses back on their side again. The true reward for years of hard work and perseverance pays off in the best way. Hey, didn't the Black Eyed Peas release a song last year?
This is the rhythm of the night.
I wouldn't be opposed to you guys waiting another 5 years before you try again, because y'all aren't ready yet. So 75% of the Black Eyed Peas are back together. They even had an album nobody listened to or knew about. Just a stepping stone right into the big hit single. Directly after an album. Yeah, that makes sense. You may be asking, why Ritmo? Great question!
She must got some strong ass muscles.
Well, it was advertised in the elderly reboot of Bad Boys, like there couldn't have been a more perfect act to soundtrack Martin Lawrence. Oh, and Gemini Man.
Yeah.
Old people rapping about old people for old people. Not all old people are bad rappers. Have you heard All the Way Up? Snoop on Smile? Doing it for the love of the game? Good result. That may have lost their love a little bit. Maybe somebody should ask the question, where is the Fergie? I ask important questions here. More importantly, what is this sample that clearly wasn't used to pretend they still have a vocalist on payroll? How did they make a sample sound bad? I'm a critical butt about sampling. It's what made me the one person who didn't enjoy I Like It. But the sample there at least still sounds like the source material. Here it sounds like Corona has a cold, even though it doesn't sound like that in the original.
This is the rhythm of the night.
And other than those words in the sample, it's actually pretty great. Corona post-Dayquil sounds pretty good, and she is easily the best thing about this song. And she made her part 35 years ago. It's somehow better than this masterful wordsmithing. Did I say wordsmithing? I meant product placement.
No son ni Reebok ni Sonai. Hakuna Matata como Timon y Pumba. We're building like Lego. You like that space?
You can ignore words, but will.i.am is back. Let's call it an attempt at reggaeton. Thanks, J Balvin. I can talk about the worst thing about every song, and it's that lazy bullshit snare beat that's used in every fucking song. will.i.am is pandering to the genre worse than even DJ Snake. Snare hits on the ahs and ands. Allow him to take the bass and make the skin-crawling sustains and slap some shit-sounding syncopated beat as the main line. It's the second coming of Boom Boom Pow. We sure needed that back. All in all, it's defined by Will's best line.
Baby, tonight's like fuego.
Baby, tonight's like fire. An out-of-control mass of destruction. Please, Bep, apply that to your careers.
Basically, I'm saying either way, we bout to slide.
I hate his apathetic tone.
I could get you the passion.
Sound like you deserve to be here, asshole. You're not great. You aren't even passably good at this. You suck. Sit down. I hate the auto-tune.
Right foot up.
Have a cup of coffee and actually sing, you talentless celebrity. I hate the dance.
Left foot up, right foot slide.
At least make a fucking dance that looks fun, and one that people aren't going to interpret as innuendo. I hate those 4 seconds after the chorus. You don't have to actively try to make the song worse, Drake. It's bad enough on its own. I hate that it's nearly the exact same beat from Gold.
Couple times if it's not the right time, it'll always be an.
The only difference is those 16ths being forced into a faster rhythm sounds like they're trying to break, and that deserves credit. So imagine a turd with a gold star in it, so you can't even see it. And yet, it's still basically just... And worst of all, I hate it. You can find all my thoughts on the whole album right here. Our next gaggle of entries are performers I would be happier to have never known for their music. And first up is the worst female rap artist working. Hooray! Megan reminds me of a joke that I made about Worth It 5 years ago. If there was ever a song that was trying to jump out of my speakers and trying to sex my ear, it's this one. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a female artist using her sexuality as a point of power. I am a Kesha fan after all. The difference is that every word coming out of Kesha's mouth doesn't sound simultaneously self-righteous, sarcastic, and cocky. It's definitely personal taste, but her demands for everything sexual is not a flattering approach. It's the wrong way. And practically the opposite side of this list has the right way to go about it. But I don't like feeling like I have to be the celibate moral authority every time her songs come on. My word, missy. Put on some clothes and fix your posture. Act like a lady. Megan bad. But why savage?
I'm a savage.
Aw. No, you're not. These adjectives I would be willing to give to Meg as legitimate descriptions. If I got this information from some third-party source, I could believe it. Straight from the horse's mouth? Not even a little bit. Savage is one of those words that savage people would never describe themselves as, because it's a conceited effort to even think of yourself as that. Guys, I just realized that I'm a baller. Awesome. Perfect. The greatest. It's completely disingenuous. Speaking of...
Hips tick-tock when I dance.
I don't really need to specify which version is worse, as they both really don't work. Take your pick. Either you have more Megan talking down to you, or you have diva caliber breaks from B. That's your worst number one of the decade thus far. Yippee.
Before you go.
Oh man, Someone You Loved is like the worst song ever made. God, it's so bad. Do you fuckers see what you've done? You challenged him to make something 10 times worse. You thought he sounded really bad in that one part, so now he just does that for an entire fucking song. Who the fuck is even listening to this? What is wrong with this goddamn country that you people seem to think that this is fucking music? What the fuck?
Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me.
Ready for my real in-depth analysis of what's wrong with this song? The bitch can't sing. Instead, I'll go back to making you excited for having your comments featured in the video. Oh, Sean. Love you, buddy. You sarcastic ass. Yeah, no, but I'm willing to bet your cover is 1,000,000 times better than Tony's Death Wails.
They say, oh my god, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, buddy, and place them both in mine.
Okay.
You're either with me, or you're my enemy. I used to like GarageBand loops too. Why? 'Cause it's in a major key? Goddamn facade. Bjork doesn't sound like death. What? Really? I thought metaphors were only for literature. And I am no angle above 90 degrees. Hold your tongue. I'm going to ignore the fact that you think BDSM is the same thing as watching The Room, which, no, this analogy blew up before even making it to space. And while I do agree to so bad it's good music being a real phenomenon, you don't listen to a bad song over and over. That never works. That takes the fun out of it. In that case, only 2 outcomes will happen. Either you'll realize that your enjoyment transcends irony and it's time to admit you think it's good, or the comedy fades and you discard it into your worst songs of the decade, which Dance Monkey definitely isn't in the running for or anything. And finally, the comment that stuck with me. Relaxing? That's a new take, if not a wrong one. Sia and El King never sounded so strained and joyless. Critical analysis is my job, sorry, besides the fact that stop saying relaxing, she keeps yelling at me. And my favorite.
Not even a little bit. I called it.
But what's worse? A song bad enough to make the 2019 non-hit video that dodged it by becoming a hit in garbage time January?
It's time to return the favor. Fuck
You and you.
No, fuck you.
This is a start-to-finish piss take from a degenerate, butthurt loser who packed every second with as much bad will as he could muster. From repeatedly telling us to fuck ourselves, to naming it after embarrassingly forced wordplay, to just throwing whatever shit he could find in there.
And you want me to change? Fuck you!
Shocker of the day, Blackbear is absolutely terrible.
Huh? Not the do-re-mi guy. How could it be?
I hate your friends and they hate me too.
Yeah, I remember what it was like to be 12, combining the most vulgar thing my underdeveloped brain could think of with a basic as hell melody. Bear is 12, right?
Forget you and you.
Or maybe he's 12 months old. No object permanence yet.
Fucking bitch shot me down. Oh, there she goes walking away. Oh, alcohol!
Hey, if you're in the mood to be a shallow prick mad at the world for being too ugly to land attractive people, then this song is for you. Other than that, it's a joyless, underdeveloped, hack shamble, honeysuckle rigmarole. So bad. Just really bad.
Bummer. But I'm glad that's over.
2020 has been more album-driven in popular music. Maybe more than I've ever covered.
Toosie slide, then I hit it double time.
Haha, that is in my top 10. Please, Ducky, listen to more albums. I got a lot on my plate, alright?
Anyways, lots of stuff from the same albums. You've been warned.
Cause I'm heartless.
Heartless is a song that I did not like upon release. Checked it out, thought it was ignorably fine.
Was kind of hoping the song would be hateable. Mainly because the year has had so few things of that.
The weird thing is, I never gave up on it. Kept listening to it if it was the only acceptable song playing. Just bumping along like it's one of those songs from a year everybody loves, and I don't. Kind of like a professional evaluation. Figure out what works, and then it clicked.
All this money and this pain got me heartless.
Eat your heart out, overplay doesn't factor into analysis. Overplay is the reason I greatly enjoy this song.
Metro Boomin turn this hoe into a mosh pit.
Or I greatly like this chorus that has a mediocre song around it. Turn these lyrics into a mosh pit.
Nah, Boomin nailed it. I'm reminded a lot of Tunnel Vision from this, but instead of the deconstruction of human garbage, it's utilized to compliment Weak as a dick, and it works incredibly well. For that part of the song. The rest I could take or leave depending on the day, almost like this is only number 10. And yeah, there are plenty of other songs I could have brought in to begin this list, but I take it over any of those for various easy-to-explain reasons.
Rapid fire number 11s. Terrible ad-libs. Blah. Not the popular version. Meh.
In your eyes.
In Your Eyes is pretty good. Unlike Heartless, it's a more consistent level of good. I might prefer the chorus in Heartless to anything in Your Eyes, and yet it's solid from start to finish.
That's it. You want to talk about After Hours?
After Hours is definitely not an album I anticipated, or thought I cared about, or even had any intention of listening to. The press seemed good, and at the time, the 2 singles averaged out to pretty good, so I checked it out. I was very close to clicking off the album because it had the Heartless verse vibe. Not inherently bad, just not the kind of thing I'm down for. Moody R&B?
And if I didn't love the singles, I probably would have given up after 4 songs. But it got better.
Ends way stronger than it starts, that's for sure. And there were a couple of songs I actually still listen to. Weeknd has self-deprecation down. He's always the sex god who can't ever properly function. Desperation on the dance floor? Love it.
I've been the hardest to love.
Same thing. Guy can't do anything right. but that's what helps. I don't need to listen to Blackbear blame hot girls for his problems. It's fake.
Act like a mess, and I'm there. Oh, also...
Roxanne.
I don't know. This just works for me.
Something is telling me it's ironic to like something in the same vein as Daddy, but Arizona Zervis isn't a dumb prick, this doesn't sound like shit, and it's not trying to be funny.
Sorry, I just thought about, if you don't make me come, I won't come back. That's so funny.
Roxanne is a fun listen, produced by a couple of nobodies too unfamous to even have wikis. This relaxing sheen has me grooving every time, and it's layered perfectly with this guy, who pretty much sucks.
Living fast, Ricky Bobby shaking bait, yeah.
Not great. Arizona is riding on the tails of his own team, and that's fine. His serviceable whateverness makes this quite enjoyable. Sure beats the hell out of serviceable production and terrible performer.
Move for me, move for me, move for me.
Wink. Anyways, it's catchy as hell and brain dead. What more could you ask for?
Tons?
Level of concern.
A top hit is a real curiosity. They didn't get past 2016. Trench has some single-worthy hits, but alas, the world passed them by.
But why top in 2020? Because they basically just covered Don't Start Now.
I can't help but think I haven't felt this way.
Change me, baby.
I laughed my ass off the first time I heard it. I laughed even harder when, for some reason, it became an actual hit. It almost even works if you think of Level of Concern as a reaction to Dua.
Don't stop caring about me now.
Just need you to tell me we're alright. Tell me we're okay.
A horribly unhealthy reaction, but it's fun to stretch it to make it work.
Being just like a Dua Lipa song definitely helps Top, as their sound was mutating into some unpleasant, weird soundtrack garbage.
All my friends are heathens.
That's Blurry Face for you.
I prefer my top more vessely.
There's definitely room for moody, more introspective music, but Top isn't that. They excel when Tyler isn't trying too hard and the other guy has a legit beat to kick out.
Tell me we're alright. Tell me we're okay.
I'll learn his name when he earns it. What, it's not like they've made a top 10 album or anything.
All I'm happy for is that the quarantine brought us one great song, because there sure was a wrong way to do this.
But if the world was ending, you'd come over, right?
Yes, Julia, there do exist people as talentless as yourself. That doesn't mean you have to exploit a pandemic to prove it.
Or give yourself some pathetic excuse to become a lead artist again. Even the people who are lead artists couldn't pull this off.
Stuck with you.
No, bad. There has to be a better reason for an Ariana Beaver song. Pointless. Sterile waste of time right there.
Thank you, Top. I love your cover of Don't Start Now. And Wonderwall.
Nice to know my kind.
One that could break my heart.
Welcome to the top 11 songs on Future Nostalgia.
Boys will be boys.
This is the only song I think is just fine. Hell, maybe even less, because its message is too vague to not feel pandering.
And you already know how I like my songs about the status quo.
What if Ricch was straight man?
Pretty please.
End of side A. Guess she's at her least at the ends. Enjoyably chill song.
You got me in love again.
I do hear it. I understand why the musically inclined find it to be so good. But I'm not here to hear Dua Lipa recycle old things. This album is called Future Nostalgia. I want her to create things that I'm going to be nostalgic for in the future. Unfortunately, this song has a ceiling that Dua is better than.
One that could break my heart.
The song that is one of the best songs of the year so far by any artist can't make the best half of the album it comes from. That's a pretty damn good album right there. Eat your heart out, BTS. What a chorus. Wow.
We created something phenomenal, don't you agree? Good and bad.
I've heard the complaints.
My counter argument is relatable.
Got me losing all my cool.
She's emptying her soul for us, and we rewarded her with still no number one, 2.5 hits, and no extra chart. We deserve nothing. So this is just cool, except it's perfect. Oh, good job, idiot. Thought the best song of the decade so far would get no love after barely debuting in the top 30. Good call there, I say now that I can't use it this year.
Give me one of those I'm with stupid shirts, but it points up.
I want your stupid love.
It's easy to reminisce about the last golden age of pop music, also known as 2009 to 2012.
It's easy for me to talk about it fondly because I wasn't actually listening to it when it was the biggest thing. See, I used to be so cool.
Stupid Love is a return to that era. Simple, fun, powerful pop music. The exact thing every year could use a little of. If this was a single off of Fame Monster, it would have fit perfectly. It's really the Gaga single we've been waiting for all this time. Gaga is back.
And with Chromatica, which is, fine. It's probably a little less good than After Hours, actually.
It's got a few alright songs. Free Woman, Enigma, that other hit. Honestly, I don't even think of it as an album worth seeking out.
Heck, I didn't even finish it. I ran out of time, I had to go to work, and I never got back to it. But for as underwhelming as it was, I don't really feel like I need to.
Stupid Love is just great. She's having fun, and we could always use core pop like this. Although the world didn't, because golly did it run fast.
High fashion, like Goya.
Roddy's having a good year.
You know, multiple number ones from a kid who basically came from nowhere. And hell, my opinions of the guy drifted from Young Thug's son
We spin his block, got the rebound in his ramen.
to a guy who mispronounces words to spite me.
So call cause I'm balling.
If you're gonna say balling, then don't put an apostrophe there. Ballin', balling.
First collab together, annoying. Second, something magical.
If we hop in the Benz, is that okay?
Roddy isn't trying to be a god of masculinity or the irresistible player. He's just a guy who wants more time with a girl. And in the age of gestures having to be too big to ever be believable, Rod just wants you to be there. It's an unforeseen modesty I'll have infinite respect for. Similar to Khalid, it's a maturity I couldn't have seen coming. Especially from the box guy.
I've only heard it a handful of times, and it's already a potential classic to me.
It's just too good to not be admired. Unlike...
Why don't you say so?
Doja Cat, doing the opposite of our good friend Megan. Not using her sexuality as a golf club to the skull, but an enticing approach with restraint, care, and build-up. Like getting to know her. She's becoming less shy as the song goes on, from well-crafted verses to the openness of the final rap verse. I'm not just being told we're doing this, I might actually enjoy myself. But it's also preference. I'd rather be coerced than demanded that it's happening. Maybe that's why Savage is so popular. It's possible I'm in the minority.
It doesn't explain why people love her condescending delivery, but that's something else entirely.
Forget future nostalgia, this is just another plain old nostalgia. Maybe it's good use of escapism, or maybe we finally figured out how to perfect genres from 40 years ago. But golly does it work.
Seems pretty hard to screw up. I mean, there's none of that on my best list. And the last time I disagreed with something being so popular that did it was controversial opinion number 58. Pete, she did you dirty.
But seriously, we've entered invincible territory. Say So could play 25 times a day and I'd still love it. Unlike other similarly good but not great contemporaries, it was crafted to be here for the foreseeable future.
You son of a bitch.
I had a dream.
We've all said it. This planet isn't good enough to deserve Billie Eilish. She has the presence of a revolutionary new voice to move popular music to a place. Kind of like what Lorde did 7 years ago, but even crazier and better.
Or maybe this is just the last hurrah of the indie surge into popular music. Maybe Chromatica is just like the album after art pop. So maybe we should make some new popular music trend. Like ringtone rap.
Put my whole arm in the rim, bitch, caught it.
Damn you, TikTok rap. Even there, Roddy has 3 years of life on Billie, and she sounds more mature than Gaga. God, she's like an actual savant.
Oh man, what a good album. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have that on vinyl. See, I would go get it on vinyl, but stupid millennials keep going out because they think they're invincible to coronavirus, and my local record shop won't open until we're in the clear. Fucking morons. The best thing about her here is how wise she is. I don't struggle with depression, but Billie paints the picture so well.
Nobody even noticed.
There's an endless depth to the whole thing. Anybody else tackling it would have come off as boring. And yet...
As long as I'm here, no one can hurt you.
It's destroying me. Something as silly as distorting one word illustrates her points perfectly.
But my head was underwater.
There's no better way to play it, sounding so alone while having the support. There's too many good things to list about it.
Therefore, I'll save them. Unlike the best driver.
Blinding Lights is too boringly good to not be the best song of the year. It makes everything better. It has the superior tempo. It has the superior feel. It improves everything around it. After Hours is a point better because of it. Top 10 has been acceptably appealing seeing this song pop around from week to week. Blinding Lights is literally too boringly good to explain, and that's why it doesn't shock me that some people can't connect with it. Either you get it, or you're Sean.
2020. Doing pretty great. Thanks for joining me. It's not even close.
Don't Start Now is the best hit song of the decade, will be the best song of the year, and Dua's best song. Maybe forever. Ball is in her court to follow it up. Okay, now you may go.
I wanna get you in your birthday suit.
Watch those! I know you didn't, being that those view numbers are very low. I worked very hard on those, goddammit. Next up are some best songs of all time. Please subscribe so that I can continue making those. Gooby.